off in a minute. We'll turn them off in a minute.
We're ready.
Let me just stop first. Okay. Did you put the card? Does it need a new SIM card? Does it need a new SIM card? Okay.
Just in here, yeah.
Okay. All right. If I may have your attention, I'm sorry to get started a little bit later, but in addition to the heat, there's all kinds of issues going on this morning. We're going to turn that down in a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it over to Joy, who is going to explain to you Canvas, if you are not familiar. Okay, if you're not familiar enough with Canvas, she's going to explain that a little bit more. And then also we'll be talking about the wiki. I thought Cheryl was going to be here this morning, but if not, I will tell you that Cheryl is still going to be an administrator of that, and Rick has administrative capacity also. So if you need to get access to any of those sites and places.
So Cheryl is working this summer?
I'm sorry? No, Cheryl is not working this summer. She did Maymester, but she is not working this summer. So, but she will, of course, check in. She said she'd probably be here about once a week just to kind of check in and make sure everything was going as it should.
She's here on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's right. It was Thursdays that she said she would be here, that she would check in on Thursdays. Okay, so welcome back. We had a really good Maymester. We had kind of a low number, but I think what we did was good and beneficial. We had a lot of people that passed some tests, which was the whole focus on Maymester, is to getting those tests passed and moving up in speed, and we had several people that did that, which is really good. It's always the idea. If you were not as successful as you wanted to be in Maymester, it's okay. Forgive yourself, and we're going to go on, and we'll have a good semester this time. Pretty much we don't have the schedule finalized, and so I don't have that ready for you yet, but I do want to tell you that the best idea if you're coming on campus is to come on at the regular time at 8:30. The labs will be open, the rooms will be open, and you can get an extra hour of dedicated practice, you know, as a group. Those of you that come or by yourself, it doesn't matter.
Am I unlocking the doors?
If you get here, but yes, if you can. Judy's been really good about unlocking our doors, so she likes to get here early to get parking, and so, and I think that's a good thing for those of you that are coming on campus too, to get here a little early to get parking. As you see, there's nothing been done out there in that parking lot they took from us, and the parking lot over here. But supposedly, occasionally I've seen a couple of people out there looking through the surveyor's stuff, and you know, walking around kicking the rocks and you know, that sort of thing. So
they're thinking about it.
they're planning. Let's put it that way. Okay, let's just say nicely they are planning.
There's a tree down there.
Oh, and there's a tree down, but that might have happened the other day. The storm
There was
that,
progress.
The storm that, well, that was God. The storm
Progress.
that pushed,
He's trying to move things along.
yeah,
for us.
God's moving things along. The storm that pushed through here Thursday I was still here when that storm came in, and I'm telling you, there was hail, wind, it was bending trees. It was absolutely scary. I walked by the elevator shaft. Oh my goodness, I thought I was under attack because it sounded like guns going off. It was awful. It was so heavy. So I waited for a while and then finally went home. But fortunately, my car does not appear to have been dinged. So I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really checked it all that well. Okay, so the focus again is going to be on getting through your speeds and making that progress. We did have to cancel a couple of classes because of low enrollment, and unfortunately they're going to be looking at that, and that's probably going to be happening. So I just want to encourage you guys to save your pennies now, okay? So that when we get ready to enroll for fall, you'll be ready to enroll and to pay. Because if you wait until the last minute, they look at some of those numbers, and if it has, you know, it's really hard to communicate the fact that you need that class for your degree plan And please don't cancel if it only has 2 or 3 of you in it. But that was what was happening and happened all the way around, particularly for this summer. So as a result, there's a couple of things, and some of you may have gotten notice that a class was canceled. It's okay, we're going to take care of you, so just don't ever stress about it. We'll take care of you one way or the other, but just be aware that those things are now being looked at. Budget is very tight down here, and starting in the fall, we're going to be looking at things that we can do to save money, but to increase enrollment on the same level.
We don't need air conditioning or heat.
No, we don't need air conditioning or heat, so just come in your bikini, or I don't know.
At least you don't have to worry about your hands being cold.
We have it on video.
Buses and bikinis.
I do have that on video. I didn't mean it.
Being in a bikini, but no joke, I have not had air conditioning in my house for over a week. And the AC guy came out. I had on my bathing suit bottoms, and I had my niece's little tiny nothing top.
No wonder they didn't fix it. They wanted to come back.
They got scared. No, they got scared. They got scared when they saw you, Rena. So,
Well, and I
yeah.
apologize.
That's probably too much information, but thank you.
I know, but.
It's on the video.
No, I know. This is all on video. I want you to know that. I want to tell you, those of you that are listening by video, we have a very good time here, okay?
That was Rena, by the way.
And that was Dr. Deering, so in case you're wondering. Okay, the good news is we have 28 new theory students tonight. So pray for Frances. She's going to have her hands full with a lot of good new students. And I've already got enrollment started for theory in the fall. So we are out there now, and people are knowing, and I'm getting calls. I got a call from a lady from Hawaii that wanted to maybe do this online from
I'm gonna
Hawaii.
take the machine tour.
And no, I'm going to take the machine tour.
I have to go.
Yeah, we all have to go. We have to meet her.
That's right. She's-
And then we had a lady from Ohio who called us. So, I mean, you know, the national certification has worked, okay, and it is working. And honestly, that's one of the questions I get all the time. Are you NCRA approved? And I can gladly say now, yes, we are. And it does, I mean, you don't see it visibly as such, but it does make a little bit of difference. So thank you guys for being patient during that particular time. We've had some rough waters to navigate here and there, but I think our boat is ready to launch and really move forward. We will have 3, possibly 4 students taking the state test on the 22nd. So that's good news. I have a lady that's sitting in the class right now that enrolled who is a former court reporter. Is coming back to get her SOP, and so she'll be taking, I'm sure, the test the next time. And then Deidre is back, and Deidre is a high-speed student, and so we're looking for good things, and Josh was in that class, and several other people now, so we're looking to push forward, and I think, like I said, the boat's in the water, we're ready to go. As you know, I always do the SAC pack for you. Now, there are 2 SAC packs this time, so you all be aware of that. If you're anywhere from 80 on up, you will get this SAC pack. My choice of animal, excuse me, this time was the caterpillar morphing into the butterfly. So when you first start out, you're kind of struggling. The caterpillar morphing into the butterfly, you'll fly and do well. There's good things in here. Make sure you pick up one all the time. Also, I always send it to Miss Gunter, and she will, hopefully, as long as it works,
As long as it works. I'll
get
put
that
it
out for you, okay? And then the 40 to 60, we decided to do what's called bridge to speed building, because there's a huge transition, as you guys remember, from actual theory and sometimes quite often not finishing the entire book and then all of a sudden being thrust into 40 and 60 speed building. So we have a little bridge guide for you. Francis wrote some theory pages. I'm going to include one of them every week in this, and then there's some easier, more concentrated dictation for the 40 to 60.
Are you going to submit to me?
I can, I forgot to do that. Yeah, I will, okay. But anyway, so this will be available. If it says bridge to speed building 4060, don't pick it up. It's not going to help you. You can look at it just out of curiosity if you want to. But this is really for the 40 to 60 class. So that's really the big change.
And she's only printing a limited number of those. So
Yes, I
definitely
am.
don't pick it up and take
But
it.
I'll put it on Canvas. On your site packet.
I will send it to her along with that sack packet and send it, so it will be on Canvas when you get there. Now, the only real thing we will work on as a faculty afterward is getting that schedule finalized. We do have to make some adjustments on it, and we kind of have to stretch ourselves. We're all going to be working day and night and on limited basis, and making everything available for the night students as well as the day students and the online students. So just remember that you're practicing to read your things back, and you're practicing in order to be able to produce and to do those tests and to read what you write. Real time, I think, is good. It's wonderful, but I think too much of the time we get caught up in either watching our screens or watching what's going on, and we learn to hesitate because we see something come up and we don't like what we saw, and you know, all kinds of things happen. So just remember, your real time at this point does not have to be perfect. Your real time at this point does not have to be perfect. You must be able to read what you write. So that's what we want to focus on. Your real time does not have to be perfect. And when I'm saying that too, it's not nothing is about being perfect. It's about the effort that you put into it. I have read research after research about the high dropout rate, which we all know is a reality, but they're not outside of catastrophic family events that happen and other things that happen. The research is saying people are not dropping out for most reasons except that they're not putting the effort in. Okay. I tell everybody when I'm talking to them about entering court reporting, this, first of all, will be the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. You don't believe me, but it's hard. The second thing is you have to practice until your fingers fall off your hand. You know, you have to put in the effort. You have to practice. There's no other way to succeed in a skills course if you don't put in the practice time. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. As I said, the labs will be open for an hour in the morning. That's quality, good time that's quiet, and you can come and practice and work on some things. Now, I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of what I call focused practice, and I'm going to call it 5 for 5. 5 for 5. And here's what I want you to do. On Mondays, I want you, and this isn't speed building, it has nothing to do with theory, but speed building. I want you to choose 5 words, just 5, that are either briefs you want to work on or are words that require maybe a theory change or a little tweaking in your dictionary. So just 5, pick 5. Whatever those 5 words are, dictate them on your phone, to your phone. Dictate them to your phone. And then create some silly sentences using those 5 words. Make them up yourself. They can be silly and stupid and whatever. But make up silly sentences that incorporate maybe not all 5 words in one sentence, but at least, you know, a word in each of those sentences. Then you can play them back because you've got it recorded on your phone. I think most everybody has a phone that can record, right? You're not like some people that I know that still are using the flip phones, right?
Hey,
Even those have recorded.
So record it, play it back, and at least once a day. And more than that, actually. Now I'm going to say, no, let me rephrase that. I want you to choose 5 minutes 3 times a day. 5 minutes 3 times a day, and practice your recorded words. Now, if you do that 3 times a day for at least 5 days, or 7 days, if you have the time to do that, those words will become yours. Because that repetition will be there, and it will be ingrained. I think the reason is we get so busy, you know, we hear this brief, we write it down. We hear this brief, we write it down. We hear this phrase, we write it down. And we had a student one time that honestly, when she left, and she was not successful, unfortunately, but when she left, she had a brief book that she had written, a notebook that was probably this thick, and I'm not exaggerating. But she never incorporated them. She never used them. And so it was just, she left here with a brief book about this thick, never being able to write. So let's try this. 5 for 5. 5 for 5. 5 briefs or words that you want to incorporate. Create a silly sentence with those words. I would dictate the 5 words, and then I would dictate a sentence with the 5 words. Practice 5 minutes at least 3 times a day on those 5 words. Okay? Put that in your practice log. Joy's going to show you where all those forms are and all that stuff. Put it in your practice log. That's part of your practice time, and it will not be wasteful time. I don't think. Let's try it. Okay? Just something new. All right. We will get the schedule to you, but for right now, just to let you know, the labs are open from 8:30 to 9:30. 9:30. Class starts at 9:30, and goes 9:30 on to 12:50. 12:50. Yeah, 12:50. We have to meet the time. Night school starts at 6 o'clock. You are welcome at any time. If you want to come day sometime and night sometime, you know, that's okay. If you want to get extra work, that's okay too. I don't know that we can accommodate the high speeds at night just yet, but we'll be working on that. I do have some good news that in the fall I'm going to be able to hire another adjunct person, and so we'll have another person to help us when that time comes. Now, any questions from you? We will get a schedule for you so you can see it on paper, and we'll post it in on Canvas, but right now that's the way it stands. Where the faculty will meet right after we get through in here, okay? In the break room, please. Okay? All right. Any questions?
So, can we come tomorrow?
Oh, yes, come tomorrow. Absolutely. We'll start
What are you
full-fledged.
talking about schedule-wise? Like, you don't know what
Be here
days we come, or?
First class is at 9:30.
No, I was just telling you, the first class starts at 9:30.
Okay.
So your first class starts
The
at
schedule
9:30.
issue is who's teaching which class.
Yeah, the
It's not
schedule is
whether
for
the
us.
class is right.
Yeah, it's for
Okay.
faculty. Yeah,
Got it.
doesn't have anything to do with y'all. Just come and class will be here. Okay? If you
Tell
want,
me what-
again, if you want to come early, that's a good time to, ma'am? Oh, yeah, okay. For your speed, the high speed will be in 311. The 120, whatever-ish class will be
160.
in, I don't know how many we have.
315.
315.
315.
80 to 100.
311.
301.
301, and everybody from 80, no, from 40, 60, 40, 60 will be in here. Okay,
In here?
in here. 40,
And
60,
that's Monday,
that's 303.
Monday, Tuesday,
Monday,
Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday. Testing is going to be the same as it's always been,
In here.
we hope.
On Wednesday.
In here on Wednesday. You start at 9.
Be here at 9:30, at 8:30 to set up. Test will start at 9.
Okay. I'm going to encourage you to come take it live. And the reason I encourage that is because you come in and there's people around you. We have found that one of our students is having a really difficult time at the state test because she is totally online. She tests in her own little room with nobody around her, and then when she goes to the testing room at state, there's everybody, and they can be shoulder to shoulder, you know. And so because of that, she gets a little bit of anxiety. Because naturally you think somebody's watching you, they're not, but that's what you think. And so I would encourage you to come on Wednesday and take the test live, or not live, but take it here in the room. It just helps to be around other people, get used to the, sometimes some noise.
Sometimes interruption.
And sometimes interruptions, because life's not perfect. But that prepares you for things that can happen. They've gone to the state test before, and the speaker, the CD has just skipped and hollered and done all kinds of things. There's been interruptions. People have equipment failure. The thing that I fall short of in asking you is that when you come to testing, you don't have to bring your own printer. But at the state test, you know, if you don't know, you have to bring your own printer. So if you have a little portable printer and want to get used to doing that, that's okay too. All right? Just to kind of,
Especially if you're getting close to the
yeah, especially if you're getting close. We just are trying to assimilate as close as possible to what you're going to experience when you go take the state test. Yes.
How does that work? Where is the state test given?
It's different locations now. It used to be just in Austin.
Right.
The one that's on the 22nd is going to be in Fort Worth, or actually Farmers Branch.
She goes with you.
I'll go with you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The
Don't
one,
hold your hand.
Oh, well,
yeah, I'll be there to hold your hand.
as long as I can hear her voice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. The one we just had where we had another pass was in Woodlands, the Woodlands. I think the next one will be at the state convention in Austin. And then after that, they have not set, but they're all different dates. And unfortunately, in my opinion, they are more often than not in hotels. But the last two, they've heard our little complaints about that, because I know at one test I was at, it was in a hotel, and the guy was transporting a whole bunch of plates, and the cart tipped over, and every plate on his cart crashed right outside the test room. Well, you know, gonna happen, but unfortunately you don't want it. You're going to try to protect your test surrounding as much as possible. The one at the Woodlands was at Lone Star College, and the one that they're taking this on the 22nd is at Brookhaven College, or yeah, Brookhaven.
It's Dallas
College.
Community College.
Yeah, it's a great location. The only difference, and this is why I like to go with you, because at the Woodlands, it was a regular normal room, but it was small. So people were almost shoulder to shoulder. You just got to be prepared for these things. At Brookhaven, they test in like a theater setting, so it's tiered. Okay, yeah, you can choose your place, but it's tiered. I mean, things are different. So we try to, you know, make you as comfortable as possible. And like I said, if you want to bring your own printer to get used to doing that, that's fine. If you have a little one, if you don't, of course, don't worry about it.
And they offer it 3 times a year or 2?
3 or 4.
Okay.
I think it'll be 4 this year. It's about every 3
December,
months,
March, June, and September.
usually. But since the convention is in August,
We might have it in,
I don't think they'll have
convention's
it.
in September.
Huh?
the
I mean,
TCR
September, yeah. Okay, but they don't have, okay, that's right, June. But they had one
Ours is March.
March. I don't know if they'll have, they may just have 3 this year. I don't know if they'll have one in December. Sometimes they have it early January before we get back. So, you know, we'll just have to watch. We'll let you know. Those things will be posted.
Keep
You're
in
going to
touch.
find,
Keep in touch with Ms. Woodard when you're getting close to testing.
well, not only that, we're putting all
We're
that
putting some
information on the wiki
information on
and the
which I'll
Canvas
go
too.
over, but still maintain contact with her when you're getting ready to test.
I will also, the last thing I'm going to ask you is that if you have not gotten one of your certificates yet, and you have like your first certificate level completed, it's 23 hours. I processed yours, I processed Joshua's, I think I processed some more. That counts as a graduation for us. So if you're close, I think the only thing that you might not have taken is 1208, but we'll get that scheduled in there. Please contact me because you'll need to come get a form from me, fill it out, and then I'll process it for you. Okay? Any other questions from you guys? Yes, ma'am.
Do you or do you not have class on Fridays?
We do not have class on
Campus
Friday.
is closed on
The campus
Friday.
is closed.
It's summertime.
Yeah, the campus goes to a 4-day week during the
There
summertime.
will be a Friday test, however, that you will do online. I'll talk about that in a minute. Right? You are going to do the
Yeah,
Friday
I'm still
test.
going to do the
And are you going to do the blitz?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
We'll let you know about work. Please, huh? Please. I will do some blitzes, I'm sure.
It's a short summer.
Yeah, it's
That's why
10 weeks.
That's why it may not
It's just
happen.
10 weeks. Well, I think we can do it at least twice during that time.
Just
I think
not
we
during
can do
July
it.
4th.
Huh?
Just not during July 4th.
Oh, no,
week.
not during July 4th. I won't be here July 4th. All right. Any other questions? Yes, Joshua.
Would you recommend us going to the convention?
I would. I would. They're working very, very hard to have and it looks like a wonderful student track. They've been working very hard on that, and I would recommend it. And if you need help, let us know, let the court reporters know, because TCRA is funding half of the cost. So I would recommend that you let us know if you want to go.
Never
It's in
pass up a
Austin.
convention
It's
if
in
you can
Austin,
go.
and so it's closer to us, and I think it would be good.
I have a question that I think students need the answer to.
Okay.
So we have Wednesday tests.
Mhm.
When are those due?
Sunday at midnight, if they
We
take it
have
online.
Friday tests. When are
Sunday,
those due?
I'm going to talk about that when I do Canvas.
I think everything needs to be due Sunday at midnight.
I'm going to talk about everything test-wise when I do Canvas. I've got a step-by-step up here I'm going to go
They
through.
do
But
get
thank
a
you.
chance to go the night before, right, and kind of scope out the area and get a feel for where they're going to take.
They
Or do
can't actually.
Are they allowed to do that?
No.
No?
They generally, you can scope out where it is. I mean, you can
can't
go
go
on the
inside.
campus, but I don't think they'll let you inside the building. What they do is they start the test at 9. They start lining up. I see them lining up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like they want to get in there and get their choice seat, like they know what the choice seat's going to be, you know. But they knock each other down. I mean, the line is long. By 8:30, nearly everybody's there.
Getting used to the environment. is fun.
Getting used to the environment, and as a teacher, you cannot go within 100 feet of the testing room.
The
Yes, I got
written,
my-
there's assigned seating. At least it was this last.
Yeah, and the written test has assigned seating.
Is that before the speed test?
After.
The speed test goes from 9, and it's usually over about 12:30, 12:45, 12:50, whatever time they start. They give you the 3 hours to do your transcription, just like we do. And then the written test begins at 2 o'clock. So the written test is at 2, and then, of course, that's as quickly as you can get it taken. And I would suggest, if you have done most of your coursework, or feel like, you know, you can figure it out, I would take the written test as soon as possible. Because that is yours forever, and that gets it off your plate, and you don't have to be like one of our students that had to take both of them on the same day. That's really hard. It's very hard.
Isn't there like a 2-year limit though? Like you have to have
I
it
think
within
they're
2
coming
years.
up with a 2-year limit now.
I thought I
They're
read that. I
changing
thought I read that somewhere.
That's a new change.
Yeah.
That's a
But
new
it's
change.
still not because.
No, yours is
Mine's
still
still
good.
fine.
Yeah, yours
So,
will be, they'll
mine
be
would-
grandfathered in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll be grandfathered in. But I think they are wanting to change that to a 2-year.
Because I think that's the same with the RPR. You have a 2-year limit.
The
to-
RPR is changing that. It used to be, and the RPR now is the national test, same kind of structure, but you take that online totally. But it used to be once you passed a leg of the RPR, so you could pass your literary, you could pass your jury charge, you could pass your Q&A all separately. You didn't have to pass them all together like you do at the state test. Please understand the difference. When you go to the state test, you have to pass all 3 in order to become a CSR, okay, at the same time, and
Which
one
is why
sitting.
we ask you to turn in all 3 this week.
Which is why we're doing it like we're doing it. The RPR is still in legs, but the national NCRA changing up a lot of stuff. They've got new leadership. Remember, Sue Terry was here, the president. She has really shaken things up there. She's very, very businesslike, very,
Proactive.
huh?
Proactive.
Proactive, yeah, that's a good word. And she has made some really, or through the board too, have made some really, really good changes to NCRA. And so, one of the things they're going to do is change the length of time that your testing is good. So I know that they're trying to put a 2-year limit on your testing. So if you pass your lit, you pass your jury charge, you pass your Q&A, you can still do it in legs, but you have a 2-year time before you have to do it all over again. Okay. So I don't know when that law is going to come in. I know they have a lot of bylaws that they're going to be voting on. That convention is in Denver in August. So, are you going? Okay. That's basically that about the testing. Just get used to the testing, and don't get all mashed out of shape if you get distractions or noise or whatever, because it's
And
gonna,
if you're at
it's gonna
40,
happen.
60 today, don't stress. You're going to hear all this stuff again before you're ready for it.
Many times. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a required speed you'd like us to be at before going to a convention?
If you have had most of your courses, most of your academic courses, I would say, we used to say yes, but if you want to go try it out,
I went last year and I was at 80, so
I just didn't know, like,
800.
For the written, right?
you're talking the written, yeah.
Oh, the written? Oh.
She's talking the written.
I thought she said convention.
No, she said the written. Did you say convention or written?
I don't think it matters about the convention.
Oh, convention,
honestly.
it doesn't matter. That's
They
gonna
have
track.
people that hadn't even started theory
Yeah,
yet.
they have brand new people there that are not even enrolled in schools yet. It is.
It's
a
really
good-
fun. Really,
Plus,
really fun.
plus, I cannot emphasize, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, good stuff. Yeah, plus I cannot emphasize the importance of networking. You'll never know what the importance of networking is, okay? And so, that gets you jobs when you get out. Okay, any other questions? I don't want to take up all your time on that, but we'll be talking about this a lot. So just don't panic, it's just a goal, okay? Just remember that the struggle is real, but the end result is life-changing, okay? It's all there for you. It's in your hands. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Joy for Canvas and Wiki.
I'm going to do Wiki first.
Okay, and then if you have any other questions, if you want to come up. Maybe after, no, afterward. And then faculty, we will meet in the break room after that. Okay? No, you don't need us here, do you?
I don't.
Okay, she's got it. All right.
Don't forget to send me that bridge
I'll have to-
4060
I'll have to-
pack.
I'll have to, scan it.
Scan it in, right.
All right. I'll be in my office if anybody wants to.
Okay, does anybody not know how to get to the wiki? I'm going to talk about the wiki first. The website is sacdictationhomepage.com. I'm sorry, no it's not. Sacdictation, all one word, sacdictationhomepage.pbworks.com. And I'm going to show you where to find that in just a minute on Canvas. SAC Dictation homepage.pbworks.com. That brings you to the page that's up on the screen right now. Make sure that you know how to get there because this is where all of the dictation is stored. Each day, each instructor posts their dictation for the day. The test is there, whether you're taking it on campus or online, this is where you go to get your test. You will. There's some information up here that you need to look at. Look at the red line if you are an online student. Actually, this is true of every student. Every student must have access to a scanner because the Friday tests have to be submitted online. The practice logs have to be submitted online. You need to get used to being able to do that because as a court reporter, you're going to be submitting stuff online. There are several ways that you can do that, but a scanner is almost necessary. So we don't make you buy a textbook, so make sure you get a scanner. You can get some really inexpensive all-in-one printers that have scanners attached to them. You can buy separate scanners, whatever works for you. There's a scorecard. This is new this semester. We have not posted this before. I have not even put it on Canvas yet. If you want a way to keep track of your speed, I haven't even looked at this. It's not going to let me download it. Anyway, you can download that scorecard. Track your progress. It's basically, and you can create your own if this one doesn't work for you. It's basically just a chart that has your speed, and let's say you're at 40. You start with a line that says 40. You need jury charge, literary, testimony, whatever order you want to put it in. You have to pass each one of those tests at 40 words a minute twice. So you can make a chart that has 2 lines for 40, 2 lines for 60, that sort of thing. Basically, that helps you keep track. You can put the date in there that you passed it. That's pretty much what I do. I have a notebook that I keep that in. I have a chart that has your name on it. It has the type of test, if it's a lit, and it has the speed, and it has the columns for the dates. I have the date you passed the first one, the date you passed the second one, and then sometimes you pass the third one. I can put that in there too. But basically, keep track of your score. Always, you're welcome to ask me because I do have it recorded. I'm the official keeper of the scores. So ask me anytime you don't know for sure what speed you should be testing at. If you have a question about whether you can test at a higher or a lower speed, let me know. I will give you hopefully an educated answer. This is the degree plans. This is information about NCRA's minimum standards. This is a link to the court reporting library. There are some documents there that might or might not be helpful to you. I'd suggest that you review that and see what's in it. This is the TCRA website. That's some information there about testing you need to be aware of, especially as you get close to being ready to take a test. The sign-up is a 2-part process, and you have to make sure that you've completed both processes in the required time prior to the test. So don't be in the dark about testing. Even if you're not ready to test, go look at it. Theory classes, everything about your theory class is going to be posted here. Although y'all are not theory, you can always go back and look at theory classes. Okay? And then we come to summer. When you click on Summer 2019 for the first time, it's going to ask you to request access. It's a box that comes up that has your name on it. It's going to ask you to request access using your email. If your name's not in your email, send a message saying who you are, but most of you have your names in your email, so it's not necessary. There'll be a box that asks you to put a letter in it. Put that letter in it and send to administrator, and usually you will get a response back the same day to your email. There's a link that will come back to your email that will give you access to that page for the first time. After that, then you'll go to the home page and be able to access it. When you get into summer 2019, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the same logo that's on the sack pack, the same butterflies and caterpillars. Quick links to information. This is some information that might or might not help you. Use it, look at it, see what's there, decide for yourself if you need to use it. Dictation. This is where the instructors will put their dictation from their classes. Mrs. Dean will put all of her instruction, all of her dictation from her class in this, under her name. Obviously, there's a name here for each instructor that does dictation. If you want to review somebody else's dictation, if you want to listen to somebody else's dictation, you can do that. You're not limited to the 4060 dictation if you're a 4060 student. It's okay to go ahead and listen to the 8100 dictation. Just know where it is. And when we get that schedule completed, you'll know which instructor is instructing or dictating at which speeds, and you'll know which ones to listen to. You probably don't want to go listen to the 225 dictation if you're a 4060 student, but you might.
Oops, sorry. Nothing, sorry.
Did you have?
I was pushing the buttons on the website you're showing, so pushed the wrong one.
If you, when you're ready to test, on Wednesday only, do not go to this page any day other than Wednesday. First of all, there won't be a test there until Wednesday morning. She might get it there late Thursday, but do not go to this page except on Wednesday. It is monitored. And if you are on it at a time other than Wednesday from 9:30 or 8 to 12, we'll say, 8 to 1, you're going to get an email questioning why you were on it.
This page right here?
This page right here. Just this page that I'm fixing to go to.
Oh.
The summer testing.
We can request
This one-
access though, right?
Note the red. Yeah, you do have to request access. Note the red. Test Wiki is open to students from Wednesday morning until Sunday at midnight. Do not go to it Monday or Tuesday. It's there until Sunday at midnight because the Wednesday test is not due for online students until Sunday at midnight. So if you don't, if you come on campus, it's not a problem. But if you're taking it online, you can go online from Wednesday to Sunday. That's this test, this line right here, summer PC mock testing. Okay. You're going to see a page that looks like this. You're going to see a week number. You need to know what week we're in. This is week 1, and week 1 testing will be this week on Wednesday. Be here on Wednesday morning, 8:30 to take the test for week 1. When she gets it posted, Ms. Woodard posts them. I don't post them. I just grade them. When she gets them posted, they'll be right here at your speed. Find your speed, 40, 60, 80, whatever your speed is, up to 225. There will be a test there. There will be a link for lit right here, jury charge right here, testimony right here. If you're at 40 in lit, you go here. If you're at 60 in jury charge, you go here. You can be in different speeds, new people. You can be in different speeds for different parts of the test. You don't have to pass all of the tests in 40 before you can go to 60. If you pass lit this week and lit next week, then you go to 60 the following week for lit. But you stay at 40 for jury charge and testimony. Does that make sense? Anybody not understand that? Okay? That's week 1. It looks like that every week. It looks exactly the same every week. Okay? That's the Wednesday test. You will also notice right here, she calls it roaring opportunity. This is going to be, if she does, and she's got it down for weeks 4 and 8, if she does a blitz, and she said she probably would. A blitz is, she doesn't have the Friday up here. She'll have to add the Friday column. The blitz is you get one test each day of the week. Monday would be a lit. Tuesday would be a jury charge. Thursday would be a testimony. That's what happens blitz week. You take all 3 of those tests. You have until Friday to take all 3 of those tests, no matter what day they're posted. If it's posted on Monday, you can take it on Monday, or you can wait till Friday to take it. You can take them one at a time, or you can take them all at once, but they're going to all be on separate lines in that test. I didn't request that. Oh, I got it. Okay. If we're in week 4 and she does a blitz, okay, lit will be posted on Monday. Jury charge will be posted on Tuesday. testimony will be posted on Thursday. They're all due Sunday, midnight.
But that won't count as a.
Yes, it will count. If you pass it, it will count.
As a qualifier?
Yes, if you pass it, it will count. If you don't take your,
But I mean, if she's posting them on different days, so if we want to pass it as a qualifier, we have to take it all on one day.
Not as a mock speed, right?
there will be mock speeds here. Mock speeds, I tell the mock speeds, it's your choice. We had a couple of mock speed people use these as practice. No, it won't count to get you ready to take the test because they're not all at the same time, unless you take them all at the same time. Because they're all there. You could go in and take them all on Friday, for example, and then it could count.
Okay. All right. That's
If
the
you
next
submitted
question.
them all together,
Okay. Good.
okay?
Yep.
Or you can skip it. If you choose not to take it, it's not going to count against you. Any questions about, that's Blitz. She has not put a column on here for the Friday test. I will ask her to do that because the Friday test is posted every week. The Friday test is one part, and this too is the same thing. It would not count toward qualifying, but it would count as a practice test. If you haven't yet reached 225, it would count toward getting you to 225 in testimony, for example.
Okay.
Typically, she does week 1 lit, week 2 jury charge, and week 3 testimony. If you don't need it for 180 lit, then don't take it, unless you just want to use it for practice. Again, if you don't take it, it doesn't count against you. This is for your benefit. If you're not at 180, 200, and 225, you need to take them because that's helping you get to mock speed, which is 180 lit, 200 jury charge, and 225 testimony. The sooner you get there, the better you can do what she's calling qualifying to be able to take the state test. And these help you get there. They do count when you pass them. So I recommend that you take them. I will make sure she gets a column in here for the Friday test.
But everybody is mandatory to take the Wednesday.
Mandatory on Wednesday. Everybody must take the Wednesday test. That will be a negative against you if you do not take it. When we go at the end of the semester and start assessing grades and we look and see that you didn't bother to take the Wednesday test, we're going to know it. Is that out?
No, it's just,
We're going to consider that in assessing your final grade. So everybody, whether you pass it or not, should submit your Wednesday test. And I will get it back to you. I'll talk about that in a minute. Any other questions about the wiki? There is tons of stuff on here that you have access to if you want it. Take some time to go through it and look at it and figure it out and request access to anything on there that you want. As long as you are an enrolled student, you will get access to any link on this page. And trust me, there's enough practice dictation there to last you the rest of your life. Ms. Dean's put most of it up there. Any questions about the wiki before I go to Canvas? Mr. Hopkins and Ms. Mallon are the keepers of the wiki. So if something comes up that you have a question about, feel free to ask me. I may defer to them if I don't know. Most of us are pretty familiar with it. All right, I'm going to close that and go to the home page. You get to the home page of Canvas by going to your ACES login and Canvas. I don't know if this will take me there or not. Yeah, no, it's not going to take me there. If you go to Alamo ACES, log in with your login, your ACES login, you'll see a box on there that says Canvas. You just click on that box and it'll take you to this page. This is your dashboard. You may have more classes than this, but this is the class that counts for speed building. Look for the green butterfly. It's CRTR 1291 and this summer is 002. Everybody that's in speed building from 40 to 225 is in this class. Okay? This is the speed building class. Look at this bar right here on the right hand side. Everything you need for information and instruction is there. If you have a question about what courses you're enrolled in, it's there. Actually, they're going to show up here on your dashboard. If you need to send a message to me or to any instructor, you can do it through the inbox. My recommendation is that you send all messages to me through the inbox. Why? Because I have it on my phone and I have it on my iPad, and one or both of those are always with me. I can respond to you much more quickly than I can through ACE's email, because I don't check ACE's email on a regular basis throughout the day. I usually check it once a day. But if you have a question this morning that you need answered before you take the test, I may not see it till after the test, or after you should have already finished the test. So if you send it to me on Canvas, I will see it almost immediately and respond very quickly. Okay? I may respond with "I'll get back to you," but I'll respond. All right? You click on this becomes a highlight when you point to it. You click on it, and it takes you to the main page. Take a minute and read what it says. It's a full page of information. There are some links. There are some detailed information about the summer class. It's telling you that if this is your first time to do this, you should go here and look at the Student Quick Guide. That tells you how to use Canvas. It also tells you that Canvas is where we make all announcements. You'll see that there's a tab right here for announcements. If there's an announcement, you'll see a number beside that telling you that there's an announcement or an exclamation point or something. There is also down here a link to the Code of Ethics for NCRA, a link to the grams for NCRA, both information that NCRA wants you to know. It also has a link to the wiki right here. The front page of the wiki is right here. Okay, it also tells you that Mrs. Mellon maintains and monitors, but this summer Mr. Hopkins is also doing that. I'll go back and add that later. Any questions about the front page? The most important things are right here. These three things. I'm going to switch to student view so you'll see it the way you see it instead of the way I see it. Okay. Now, this is your view. You have fewer things to look at. Announcements. When announcements are made, there'll be a notification here that there's an announcement made. You'll also get a message telling you that an announcement's been made, I think. Assignments. This is very important. This tab is very important. This is where your assignments are found. When you get to this page, you're going to see the first thing it tells you is always sort assignments by type in the upper right-hand corner. The reason for that is we don't put due dates on our assignments. We put week numbers. And as a result, when you've got 6 weeks up on there, they're going to be all jumbled up. If you click Show by Type as your default, then it will sort them by type, meaning you've got forms right here. You've got your practice sheet. You can go here, download the practice sheet. There's two there. There's a PDF copy and there's a Word document copy. You may download that, save it to your computer, fill it in each day, and then upload it back to the assignment. You can print it out and write on it. You can create your own. I saw some really pretty ones this past semester. Dana had a really pretty one.
Oh, it was just an app I used, and I just screenshotted it.
There are a lot of people that create graphs and charts and their own thing. That's okay. The practice log, I need it. I need you to submit it so that I know you did it, but I'm not going to examine it. I might every once in a while look at it and give you a comment. But most of the time I just give you credit for having done it because it's for you. It's how you keep track of how you spent your time. How you spend your time during court reporting and how much time you spend is directly correlated to how quickly you get ready to take that test and pass that test. If you take your test this week and you pass it, you can go back to last week's log and say, this is what I did. Let me see if I can recreate that and pass another test this week. okay? If you take your test this week and you don't pass it, you can go back and look and see how did I spend my time. I need to put more effort into this, or this based on what I did last week. It shows you how your time was spent, and that relates to whether or not you pass tests quite regularly. This is something that NCRA requires. This is something that NCRA recommends. They recommend that you spend a bunch of time practicing, and it tells you that in the assignment, which I'll show you in a minute. We don't require that. We don't look at that. We don't count it up. We don't add it up and say, you didn't spend enough hours here. You're not going to get credit for this. That's not what we do. We give you credit for submitting something. If you're sick this week, and I see this occasionally, don't make this a habit, but if you're sick this week and you couldn't practice, write that on your practice log and upload it. I'm not going to chastise you for it. I'm going to accept that. And then you know when you go back and look after you don't pass your test next week, you're going to remember, oh yeah, I was sick and didn't practice. Okay, the practice log is your record of how you spend your time getting ready to take that state test. And there's a copy of it right there. There's a copy of the testing forms. That's the cover sheet. The cover sheet is very important. Don't skip the cover sheet, and don't not fill it out completely. I need every box on here filled out except whether or not you passed or failed. I'll figure that out if you tell me how many errors you've got. If you give me an accurate count, and make sure I know what speed you're taking your test at too. Remember, I'm grading everybody's test. I may or may not remember what your speed should be. So tell me on the cover sheet. It tells you up here. Fill out, and there's several versions of this out there, so if yours doesn't say this, please remember this. Fill out every box on here except whether you passed or failed. If you want to put something there, I don't care, but if you don't put anything there, it doesn't matter. I will figure that out. That's usually the box I use. But if you want to put it there, that's okay. If you are absolutely bombed the test, you have absolutely bombed the test, it's okay. You can write up here, I bombed it, but send this to me anyway. If you didn't come anywhere close to passing a test, especially you high-speed people, you didn't even come close. Those high-speed tests can be 18 pages. Just upload your cover sheet completely filled out. You don't have to upload that bombed 18-page test. I'm okay with that. I don't have permission from Ms. Woodard to say that, so don't tell her. But this is between us.
I need to check your errors though.
I want your cover sheet completely filled out. There, yes, I'm saying after you edit and you realize that there's no way you pass that test, then you don't have to upload the whole test. You can just upload the completely filled out. I can't say that enough. Completely filled out cover sheet. I need to know your name, first and last, because there's a whole bunch of people with the same first name. I need to know the week number, because there are some issues or some situations where somebody will be taking a test that's the wrong week, or they've got permission to take a test that's from a different week. I need to know the week number. I need to know the date you took the test. All of those things matter to me and to the court reporting department and to your grade. I need to know what speed you're taking each part of the test. I need to know when you took it. The time is your complete time. Your grade time does not have to go in here. Your edit time is what we want in here, because you are required to be finished with editing within 1 hour of beginning your editing process. Grading does not count in that hour. That is editing time only. You have 1 full hour to edit. I've had people not submit a test because they ran out of time. Don't do that. Submit the test anyway. If you don't get it graded within that hour, that's okay. Put the time that you stopped editing and then grade it and then submit it to me. Any questions about the cover sheet? Any questions about editing and grading?
Is Is there a document on there that
Yes,
can refresh us with what is in error?
I'm gonna come to that in a minute. Anything else? All right. Those forms are right there. There's also a speed chart, an error chart in there. Don't stress that over the error chart, it's not exactly accurate, especially if you're at 40 words a minute. It's not accurate at all. I'll figure that out. Just put the number of errors that you count. That's why it's not always easy for you to figure out whether it's pass or fail. A lot of times they'll do the 40 test at a different length of time than the others. Most of the tests are 5 minutes. The 40 test might be just 3. So that affects the percentage. Your goal is to reach 96% to pass. You have to reach 96% accuracy to pass. There's an information sheet here. The information sheet is just a sheet that gives me a place for you to give me all of your pertinent information, your name, your email address, your phone number, and that sort of thing. If you've already filled one of these out and nothing has changed from 6 semesters ago, don't worry about it. If you have new information, submit it to me. If you have never submitted it, please submit it, because we need to keep accurate information on file. These are for the entire department to have access to. No one else gets them. We don't do anything else with them. If we need to be in touch with you for some reason, then we need accurate information, and what they have on ACES may or may not be accessible to us. If your Eclipse contract is coming due, make sure you are aware of that. You do not have to fill out a new Eclipse contract every semester, but every year you do. And Eclipse will tell you in advance that your Eclipse contract is fixing to expire. I think they usually give you 30 days, maybe. When you get a note from them, make sure you take care of it. Here's where you'll find the contract, the form. You can download it and submit it directly to Eclipse, or you can download it and submit it back to me, and I'll send it directly to Eclipse. I'll take care of it immediately as soon as I receive it if you send it to me. Okay? I don't need it other than that. If it's fixing to expire, you need to make sure you take care of that. All right? That's the forms documents. And that form, this section, will move down as we come to new weeks. I move it so that the current week is on top typically. You see it first. All right. Apps, this is just telling you that there is an app you can put on your phone. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you have a smartphone or a tablet, you can download it, and then you can access everything that that you're seeing here on there. CSR testing information. This is the information that Ms. Woodard was talking about. What's here now is geared toward the June test. It will change when they give me information about the next test after June. The dates will change, but the information is there if you want to go in and look at it, be aware of it, and know that it will change as the dates change. This will be a faculty list that I will update after we get through with our meeting and I know who's still on the faculty and who's been added to the faculty and stuff like that. Right now is as of last spring. This is degree and certificate worksheet information. When you get to the point where you're ready for that, make sure you are aware of it and you communicate with Mrs. Woodard about that. The forms are here. The information is here. This is a rubric for how we grade at the end of the semester. Be aware of it. This is an NCRA Code of Ethics. You saw that on the front page. Here it is again. You also saw it on the wiki page. Don't ignore it. Look at it at some point. This is a video of a guest speaker that is a very good video. It's a little bit, it's not current. It's been there for several semesters, but it's still good information. This is the NCRA grams that you will also see. Again, that was on the front page. It's also on the wiki, and it's here. That's the same information. How to save an Eclipse file as a PDF. There you go. That's how you upload your Eclipse notes. Practice reminders. This is a document that Mrs. Urban created that's got some tips for practicing. It's worth looking at. If you're new to speed building, if you're at 4060, this is a great page for you to look at. It's got a lot of information for how to get started. PC Mock How-To, that's the step-by-step of how to take the test. Look at it, download it, put it to use. This is where the new schedule will be. Right now it's got the schedule, but it's not accurate, so I'll put that up there as soon as we get it worked out in our meeting this afternoon. I'll put it back up there. This is a Stent Ed dictionary that Mrs. Mallon uploaded several semesters ago. May or may not help you. This is how to access the wiki. Remember, there was a link on the front page. Here, this is the same thing. This is another link to accessing the wiki if you didn't find it. Now we're down to assignments. Notice that I say please read the instructions for each assignment. Each assignment might change. Each semester the assignments might change. Make sure you read the assignment before you respond to the assignment so that you're responding correctly. Week 1, this is what you're going to see, and you're going to see the assignments for week 1. Week 1, you're going to see a copy of the SAC Pack. That's for you to use. If you're online, you have to download it and print it. If you're on campus, she has a limited number already printed that you can pick up over on a table outside her office. She being Mrs. Woodard. I post it usually on Friday, which means you have access to it all weekend. You don't have to wait till Monday when you get up here to start getting ready for the current week. PC Mock Notes, this is where you upload your Eclipse notes prior to editing your PC Mock. Your PC Mock is your Wednesday test. PC, Performance Challenge, Mock, meaning mock. You're ready to take the test. You're getting ready to take the test. That's just what we call it instead of a test. That's been around for a while. But that's where you put your notes, your Eclipse notes. This assignment will tell you if you are taking the Wednesday PC Mock online, upload your Eclipse notes as a PDF file here before you begin the editing process. If you're taking the test on campus, this assignment will be excused. So everybody that comes here on Wednesday to take the test doesn't even have to worry about this assignment. If you're taking this test at home or anywhere besides on campus on Wednesday morning, you save your Eclipse notes. Don't print them, don't edit them. Just as soon as you're finished taking the test, save your notes to a PDF file on your computer and submit. That gives me a timestamp for when you finished taking your test and began the editing process. That's all that does. I do not read them. I do not do anything with them. I do not want a transcript here. I don't want anything that I can read. I want your Eclipse notes here. If you put something else there, I'll send back a note, a comment saying this is supposed to be Eclipse notes, not a transcript. I don't need a cover sheet here. I don't need anything other than your Eclipse notes that if I'm not a court reporter, I can't read, but that's okay. I don't care about what they say. I care about what time you submit them. And Canvas will post the time. That tells me when you stopped taking the test. Then I'm going to go back to assignments, and I'm going to go back to week 1. I've taken my test. I've taken my test. I've uploaded my notes. Now I'm ready to go to the PC Mock Wednesday assignment. In this assignment, you will upload your complete PC Mock, all 3 parts, plus your completed cover sheet, due before midnight Sunday. Before midnight Sunday. If you wait till midnight Sunday and you have a computer issue, you're in trouble. I highly recommend that you don't wait till midnight to take the test. You can't wait till midnight, but I wouldn't even wait till 11 o'clock, because if you have a problem with your machine, there's nobody that can help you at that time of the night. When you're finished, ideally this should be one PDF upload. You've got the instructions here. I don't put this every week, but this time I have, because it's week 1. The instructions, again, you can download those and review them. I've got a copy of the cover sheet that you can download, fill out, and submit. Everything needs to be submitted using this submit assignment. You can submit more than once. If you don't know how to combine files in PDF, and you need to send your cover sheet and then send page 1 and then send page 2, you can do that. Ideally, you'll have a PDF program that lets you combine files and then you can just send one upload. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one. Adobe PDF, Adobe Pro, I believe is what I have. It costs me $15 a year. And it will let me manipulate PDFs in all kinds of ways, and it's not terribly expensive. I know there's some free ones out there. I'm not familiar enough with them to tell you about them. I know that one that I've heard of is QPDF. I know there are some of you that use your phones. Be careful of that. I've had some issues this semester with people using their phones, and I didn't get the full page, or in one case I got somebody else's because 2 people had used the same phone. So be careful if you're using your phone to upload your PDFs. To upload your PDFs. Okay, that's the PC mock for Wednesday. I must have a cover sheet. I must have all of your 3 tests at the same time. Okay. Back to assignments. You have your practice log, a copy of it again. That's where you will upload it. There's a copy of it. There's a PDF copy and a Word document copy, whichever one you want. You can download and use or create your own. I don't care. And this tells you what NCRA thinks. They think you should have 10 hours of practice time outside of class each week. Class time is not practice time. I don't care if you put it on there just for your records. But that's not practice time. That's class time. Test time is not practice time. That's test time. If you want to put them on your practice log, I'm okay with that. But just realize that you should have a lot more time than that on your practice log. You may use this form or create your own. It is due by midnight Sunday. It should be submitted as a PDF file right here. You can submit a Word document on this one, and I will get it, and I can see it. But if you submit any other kind of anything besides Word or PDF, probably won't be able to open it.
I think I did mine as a JPEG. Did it work? It worked, didn't it?
JPEGs I don't like to see.
You don't like to see?
Only because if I need to print it out, it wipes out my printer ink. I do these things at home, and it takes me a lot of ink, even in black and white, to print out a JPEG. JPEGs I can see, but please don't send me JPEGs. Because I do print every single test that's 93 or above.
Well, I was talking about the practice log.
I understand.
Oh, okay.
Yours is fine.
Okay.
I can see yours beautifully on the screen. I don't have to print yours out.
Okay.
Typically, I don't print out the practice log, so it really doesn't matter as long as I can see it, and I'll tell you if I can't see it. So don't change what you're doing. You're fine.
Okay.
But if I need to print it out and it's a JPEG, I may ask you to convert it to another file. Typically, I don't have to print out the practice log, though. It's the test that I don't want as a JPEG.
That would be a pain.
Clarify that. No problem. Tests, do not submit JPEGs. Just don't. Find another way to submit it.
That'd be like 100 separate files
How
anyway.
much ink I go through. All right. The only other thing on here is the Friday test. The only other assignment on here is the Friday test. The Friday test, the only difference in the Friday test is it's only one leg of the test, and you do not submit Eclipse notes. You do submit a cover sheet. Now, I've had people redo the cover sheet so that it only shows the one leg that's on there. If you want to do that, that's fine. You don't have to. You can just fill out one leg. I know if it's a Friday test that it's only going to have one set of numbers on it. And you will notice when you get them back that I write on there as I print it out Friday test because it goes in a different pile than the Wednesday test. I typically go through on Monday morning and print out all of the tests that look like they are 93% or above, and I have a chart that I go by that tells me how many errors you can have at your speed and have 93%. And and that varies with each speed. So if it looks like you've got 93% based on the number of errors that you wrote on your cover sheet, then I print it out. And then I go back and I actually listen to the test and grade it, just like you've done, and verify the errors that you marked. Sometimes I find more, sometimes I find that you counted something as an error that really didn't have to be counted as an error. And if that happens, I'll tell you why. Then on Wednesday, while I'm here monitoring the test, I scan them to a jump drive, and then I send them back to you as a PDF file through Messenger, through the inbox, with any notes or changes or comments that I made. So you do get your tests back if they are 93% above after I grade them. If they are 90%, I'm not going to regrade it. I'm going to take your word for it that they're 90%, you didn't pass, I'm not going to regrade it. If it's 92%, sometimes I'll just look at it on the screen and see if it's, well, maybe he missed this, maybe I'll grade that one. Every once in a while I'll grade a 92%. But most of the time I start, if it's 93% or above, I regrade it to verify that you are grading it accurately. That not that I'm not trusting you to grade it accurately, but sometimes you might count something as an error that doesn't have to be counted as an error. I do not count off for punctuation, but punctuation will count down the line. So you be aware of punctuation. I will sometimes, usually try to tell you what punctuation needed to be, but I don't count it as an error. I'm looking at your words. I'm not looking at your grammar and punctuation. You learned that in your English class, and hopefully you'll put it into practice, and if I point it out, maybe you won't make that mistake again. And usually that's true. Usually when I point something out, people remember it and don't make it again. Sometimes it's because they hurried, or sometimes it's just because they weren't sure. I've had people say, should this be here? I'll give you my opinion. My opinion, and $5 will buy you a cup of coffee. But I suggest that you have a good grammar book for your use that you can take care of on a regular, or refer to on a regular basis. I've got several that I think are good. There's some out there that are really fun. You don't have to have a boring high school grammar book to be able to do this. There's one called Eats, Shoots, and Leaves that is very good, and it's available on Amazon.
What's it called?
Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. EATS, SHOOTS, and LEAVES, and you figure out where the commas go. Think about it. Eats, shoots, and leaves. Does he eat, shoot, and leave, or does he eat, shoots, and leaves? Okay, it's a really fun grammar book.
But we can't use the grammar book on the class, right?
You can use whatever grammar book you want to. I'm just telling you that's a fun one.
But I mean, like,
During the test.
During the
Right.
test, absolutely. You can use a dictionary. Why couldn't you use a grammar book? But remember your timing. Remember your timing when you're editing. Don't get bogged down. I would recommend that you edit and then use your grammar book while you're grading. I wouldn't go to the grammar book while I'm editing. Maybe the dictionary, but not the grammar book, because that could bog you down and you could run out of time. Your hour could be up and you weren't through editing. Any other questions about the assignments on Canvas or the grading process on your test? And I grade all the tests the same way. And they all count as passes or not passes. Yes, ma'am.
If we're grading it after we print it, can we make corrections?
Please do. Please do. While you're editing, I mean after you've edited and you go back and you grade while you're listening, if you want to put a comma in there, then that's okay. I'll see it and I'll be okay with that. But if you actually make a change to the content of the sentence, you can't do that. Not after you started grading, because you're listening to the tape while you're grading. Does that make sense to everybody? If you see, if it's punctuation while you're grading, you can change, you can mark it, no problem. but don't make changes to your content while you're grading, because while you're grading, you've got the phones on and you're listening to the dictation again, and that would be considered cheating. Okay? All right? The next thing on here, the next tab on here is grades. Anytime you wonder whether I've graded your test or not, you can look here. Obviously there's nothing here, but each week you'll see a check mark or an X. You will not see a number grade. I put a check mark if you submitted, an X if you did not, and I do that on Monday morning. That doesn't mean that you still can't submit something. If you need to submit something late, you send me a message and say, I have this, I didn't get it submitted, can I submit it now? Then I'll say yes, because I can still accept submissions. But I don't want all of your practice logs in 1 week. Please, don't wait till week 10 and submit all your practice logs. That means I have to grade all your practice logs in week 10. Please don't do that. Please stay current. If you need to do 2 practice logs in 1 week, I can accept that. But if you need to do 10 in 1 week, like you're taking a vacation and you need to do them when you get back, okay, no problem. If you need to take a test after Sunday midnight, you have to have permission. You cannot just go back and take, let's say we're in week 3 and you took a vacation week 2 and you want to go back and take week 2's test. You can't do that unless I or Ms. Woodard tells you it's okay. In writing. Don't assume that it's okay to go back and take a test that you missed. Most of the time we'll tell you yes. But if you missed week 2 and we're in week 9 and you want to go back and take week 2, we're going to tell you no. We're beyond that. Not to mention the fact that sometimes the wiki files get messed up and I can't hear them anymore. You can't either. We've had that happen a few times. So just realize that if for some reason you need to take a test out of order, or if you want an extra test, or you want to take an extra test, you have to ask permission. And we will give it to you in writing. And if we don't give it to you in writing, don't do it. Any other questions about grades? Usually that's not even an issue during the summer. Course syllabus is on here, but that's the syllabus that's put out by the college. It's got good information, but it's not as unique to this class syllabus. There's really not one. Student survey, when the time comes, be sure and do that. That's at the end of the semester. And that's it as far as Canvas is concerned. Does anybody have any doubt or question about how to use Canvas or anything that I've gone over with Canvas?
I have one question about the notes, because I'm not a...
Eclipse notes? What do you use?
Canvas.
Okay, does it have a way to save them as a PDF file?
I don't know yet.
Okay, look at it and see.
Okay.
It probably does.
I'm sure it does too.
Look at the top, it probably has save as PDF somewhere on your, the Eclipse has a bar at the top and it has save as PDF.
You could try printing as a PDF as well.
You might have to print it, but...
As a PDF.
If you don't have to print it, that saves you paper. But if you do have to print it, then do it and scan it.
Okay.
There's a way to do it, because we've had other people use different forms, different machines a couple of times. I don't remember who it was, but a couple of semesters ago, we had somebody using a different machine, and she was able to do it.
I'll take a look.
I don't know if it was the same one you've got or not.
You can print straight to PDF.
Yeah,
Right, but she doesn't have Eclipse. She has a different kind of.
But if you print, it's your computer choosing the PDF, not your...
Yeah, it just saves it as
not
PDF,
your
but it says
software.
print. It's through your
But she
printer.
doesn't always have to print. You don't have to print.
No, it doesn't print on paper.
It's to PDF.
It's just
so
under
it'll
that
just-
option.
Yeah,
It is.
It'll like you printed, but it'll be in your computer.
I
yeah,
got
it's just a
you.
PDF
Okay.
file.
Okay, I got you. Good, thank you. All right, any other questions about Canvas, the wiki, or testing in any way, or grades in any way? Anything you can think of I haven't said?
The faculty list, if they need to contact any of the teachers.
Right, there'll be there's name and Alamo address and maybe a phone number for each one of them. I told them I would update that after we have our meeting and I know who else should be on there. It's on there now, like it was in the fall, in the spring. And I think I've even activated it, but I'll change it as soon as I know for sure. All
In
right?
other words, they're not just those names, it's our contact.
No, it's contact information. Yeah, I thought I said that, but if I didn't, let me make sure you know that that's the way to contact the instructors. And I'm okay with you sending me text. I don't always answer phone calls, but I will answer text. But if you send me a text for the first time, be sure you tell me who you are. 210-394-0645.
Because otherwise, all we get is phone numbers. I'm late to class.
Yeah, make sure the first time you, because then I'll put your name in my contacts and I'll know who you are the next time. But the first time you contact me on text, make sure that you put your name on there. If it's on Canvas, you don't have to put your name because I know. It tells me. But if it's a text, first time put your name. Because I'm going to save your number to my phone contacts if you send me a text. Okay, any questions, any thoughts, anything that you can think of that we haven't covered? Have a great semester. I think it'll be a good one because it's summer. Thank you, Dana. Could we turn that off?